What is up, home workout and bodyweight exercise dads? In today's video, I'll be talking about all the reasons why I've chosen to develop a hybrid routine that combines bodyweight exercises and dumbbell home workouts in order to destroy my dadbod and get shredded again. First of all, the plan doesn't require me going to the gym, which I think is one of the best ways to waste your time and one of the worst environments to train in for reasons that I'll be covering today. Before though I jump into all that, quick parenthesis, even though I'll be making a whole video on nutrition soon, if you want to jumpstart your fat loss, make sure you get my diet plan and nutritional strategy, plus a bunch of other nutritional tools completely free by joining our Busy Dad newsletter. By subscribing there, you'll be also getting all the awesome advice we share with other thousands of busy dads on a weekly basis. So pause this video for half a minute, go get that done quickly and get back to keep watching. For starters, going to the gym costs extra time that I would rather spend with friends, family, and honestly on my business. You know, not having to pack and unpack sweaty clothes, not adding extra commute to your schedule, not waiting in lines, not having the typical annoying music playing in the background, TV shows playing horrible, talk shows, and even the news nowadays. I don't know why gym owners do this, but you already have enough of all that negative brainwashing during the rest of the week. So, you know, being able to train without all that noise, being able to use your own bathroom and shower once you're done, for me, are things that are really priceless. Again, especially if you're a busy dad, the gym creates all these extra steps really between you and a workout. And the reason I mentioned that is because if we know one thing from habit science, it's that having as less friction as possible between you and a habit is key for sustainability. This is why once you free yourself from the idea that you need the gym membership in order to get in shape, and once you master the skill of training on your own, you realize that nothing really beats the convenience and freedom of being able to get it done whenever and almost wherever you want. Either that's your living room, the front yard, or the next door park, as I like to do when I train calisthenics. Training alone allows you to let go more. It helps you avoid the trap of comparing yourself with others. And it also helps you focus on what really matters, which is really just being a little bit better than you were the previous month. Now, since some of you asked in the previous videos, the reason I've decided to use threaded dumbbells for my home workouts is that they're probably the most minimal and practical weight training tool you can use. You know, sure, I could get big squat racks, different barbells and a dozen of kettlebells, but ever since COVID, I've been really trying to live a more minimal lifestyle, focusing on being as proactive as possible, on having less stuff, at least when there's a more simple solution. Using threaded dumbbells means that I don't need a ton of new, expensive and bulky equipment or having to figure out where to set it up and how to store it, since it easily fits into a tiny cabinet, which also makes her happier. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. So if you already have extra, more complicated equipment, that's great. You can use it obviously, but if you're new to this, I think that the threaded dumbbells are an awesome solution, especially if you live in a confined space like an apartment. Now, it's been over a decade since I started this project using calisthenics as the core approach to getting in shape. I still believe that no heavy weighted pull exercise can beat the simplicity and feeling of self-mastery and raw strength that a chest to bar pull-up offers, just as no bench pressing exercise really compares to a gymnastic rink dip. This is why in my book, every man owes it to himself to master these eventually if you want to call yourself genuinely strong and feel that way. That being said, especially if you are a bit overweight, if you are a complete rookie, if you've never strength trained and you're still struggling with these challenging bodyweight exercises, then in this scenario, a hybrid routine, meaning a combination of lifting weights and calisthenics, can not only enhance your results while getting there, but it can also help you do that safer and a little bit faster. So to get to the point of this video, here are the top 3 ways to enhance your calisthenics routine by lifting weights. Although I'm a huge fan of plyometric exercises for building a pair of rugged, strong and lean legs when it comes to calisthenics, these more athletic and dynamic movements can often be tricky for, again, heavier people or, those more prone to lower body injury. Plus, plyometrics can also be annoying for your neighbors if you live in an apartment. Next, another calisthenics blind spot that weights can cover is the posterior chain and more hip hinge dominant movement patterns that have enough load to help you focus on both the lower back and your lower body musculature, such as your glutes and hamstrings. And lastly, we have isolation work of smaller muscles such as your biceps, triceps, and shoulders, again for 3 main reasons. Number 1 is aesthetics. As a calisthenics trainee, I used to always be a big believer of functional compound multi-joint exercises. And to be honest, I used to look down to isolation work. But what I found is that some supplementary isolation work can have its benefits, especially for those who are, genetically pretty resistant when it comes to gaining strength and muscle in the gun department. Number 2 is for conquering those full upper body exercises such as pull-ups and dips. Some isolation work here can help you get better at these since they play a big role in helping you push through some sticking points that require some extra arm strength. And the last reason to consider isolation work is injury prevention. So shoulder, bicep, and tricep isolation work can be beneficial to prevent injury by providing a more rounded approach to improving shoulder, arm, and grip strength and stability by, training in different angles and planes. All right, so far we've covered the why you want to include both calisthenics and weight training into your routine. And now let's dive into the how we'll be doing all that. The following exercises work great with threaded dumbbells, since if you use proper form, you don't need to lift a ton of weight to build muscle and get great results with these. Starting with Romanian deadlifts, these will target your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back with a bit more emphasis on the hamstrings. But the biggest reason I like these is because other than strength, they also promote dynamic flexibility in the hamstrings, meaning your ability to move actively and safely through a big range of motion during everyday activities, while also bulletproofing your lower back as you learn how to properly lift and drop heavy stuff on and off the floor. If you're new to this one, it takes time to get used to it, so focus more on slow and perfect form in the beginning rather than trying to progress too fast by adding too much weight. Or if you're already experienced with these and you're already strong at them, you can also do the single leg version in order to increase difficulty. Number 2 are weighted glute bridges, and just like Romanian deadlifts, these are also going to target your glutes and hamstrings, but they will focus a bit more on your glutes. What you want to do is add some weight plates on your hips to make the exercise more challenging, and if you still find that these are easy, you can also transition to a single leg version that will make the exercise challenging enough, at least for most people. Number 3 are dumbbell split squats. These will also target your glutes and hamstrings, but they will primarily focus on your quadriceps and help you build more balanced strength for each leg. Personally, I'll be doing Bulgarian split squats instead, with my back foot pushing against the wall. Although pike push-ups and handstand push-ups are amazing for shoulder work, progressing from a pike to a handstand push-up can be very challenging to almost impossible if you're a pretty tall person or you have a very heavy frame, or the combination of those two. Therefore, a standing overhead press can be a great additional exercise to help you target the shoulders better. The reason I like doing these from a standing position, other than how they engage the core more this way, is that this way they can also translate better to more athletic strength later on, such as the handstand push-ups, if that's an exercise that you want to master eventually. And lastly, in case you are at a point where you can do handstand push-ups and you don't want to remove these from your programming, what I recommend instead are Lou raises. These target shoulder areas that might be a bit neglected by your handstand push-ups, and they can also be great for shoulder health and preventing injuries such as shoulder impingement, thus bulletproofing your shoulders from handstand push-up related injuries and overuse as well. Lastly, when it comes to the gun department, my favorite exercises here are classic standing bicep curls and skull crushers. I do these on the floor on a mat, and I also like to do these one arm at a time to make sure my elbow is fixed. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, where are the ab exercises? But we'll be adding these later on in phase 2, because the reality is that at this point, when you're first getting started with dropping your Dadbod, ab exercises will do very little for you. What you want to capitalize on right now is diet and packing as much muscle on as you can while getting stronger, obviously, as well. This will speed up your metabolism and it will improve fat loss and body recompositioning as you start to lose weight, meaning that it will help you lose more fat and, not compromise muscle. So once you start getting to the point where your gut is fading away, we can start working more on targeted core training to start sculpting those abs better as they start to emerge. So speaking of nutrition, again, I'll be covering that pretty soon, but because you can't outtrain a bad diet, if you want to jumpstart your fat loss journey, make sure again that you get our free 5-day nutrition guide that covers everything I'll be practicing and sharing with you soon. The guide teaches you quickly how to figure out how much you need to eat without counting calories. It teaches you how to automate your meals and make cooking simpler, how to have family dinners without destroying your progress, how to handle cravings better, basically how to target all the common nutritional obstacles that you face as a busy dad. That was all for today. As usual, leave any questions you have in the comment section below. I always do my best to get back to every single one of you. And until next time, keep on training.